few years ago, there was this one game called Booabooga. It was one of the most popular games on Roblox, and a lot of people played it. I'm not even joking. Like, I remember when a few YouTubers that I know now, who are also my friends, was playing that game 24/7. Now, the thing is, no one knows what happened to that game. That game literally got wiped off the map. However, that game was basically like a survival game where you just like have fun with your friends and, you know, you get to raid bases and stuff. It was a really fun game, but it got wiped off the internet and no one knows why. However, there was a YouTuber 2 weeks ago who made a video explaining how it got erased. All right, so if you're new here, leave a like and subscribe, and also subscribe to Spirit Links or Spirit Linux. All right, and we are about to see what happened to this game.
Back in 2018, Roblox is a completely different platform. Developers were constantly experimenting with unique ideas, with the front page being a mix of a wide variety.
Oh my gosh, bro. Wait, how does he even have screenshots of these? This was back in 2018. Dude, Island Royale was such a fun game. That was a peak game. Rogul? Yo, what? Okay, my bad. Let me look. I don't want to pause too much, but holy crap, this is ball knowledge right here.
Despite all of that, one genre always seemed impossible to escape: simulators. It felt like they would dominate forever until one game came out. It didn't exactly change Roblox itself, but for a period of time, it became one of the biggest and most active games on the platform. This game was Booabooga, and for a while, it
such a peak, bro. That was such a peak game. And you know what's funny? Like a few years ago, I think it was like 2022 or 2023, someone tried recreating Booabooga and it just didn't hit. It just didn't hit.
looked unstoppable. So what happened? And where is it now? In this video, we're going to look back at Booabooga's rise, golden era, small hurdles, and the ambitious decisions that slowly led to its disappearance. So with that, let's go back to 2018.
Whoa, I didn't know it had 60,000 players in CCU in 2018. What the?
We first have to talk about...
Wait. What did he say? I didn't see what that disclaimer. Most of the footage of Booabooga in this video is from Booabooga Reborn.
We first have to talk about Booga's upbringing. Booabooga came out in December of 2017. It was a caveman-themed survival game, which was really just a PvP game. The premise is you spawn on an island with a rock, and you have to go around bigger islands to grind resources to get better armor and weapons. The game was very simple, but its unique style and base building mechanics are what got it to be the most popular game on Roblox for a time.
Dude, I remember watching Tap's videos. My boy Tapwater, he used to be doing Booabooga. Actually, that's where he started his channel. He really started YouTube off of Booabooga videos for real. And I remember watching his videos and bro was hitting off of that. Yo, I'm talking about bro was pulling. Yo, like literally, wait, holy crap. Wait, he literally just made a video about it a day ago. Wait, but if you click on oldest, look at this. Booabooga. Yo, I'm talking about bro was spamming Booabooga videos back then. Yo, I remember all this. Oh my gosh. Then he was doing the clan videos too. Yo, that's actually real deal crazy to see. Oh my, yo, look, nah, that's crazy. All right. Anyways, let's keep watching now.
At some points, beating Jailbreak by up to 15,000 players. In the early days, this game got mostly popular for the base building, as there was a lot of stuff to make a base out of, like walls, campfires, chests, towers, and more. On release, there were only 4 tiers of armor, with steel being the best armor set. Another thing that made the game popular was the ability to raid bases with your team, something which was often featured in many Booga videos. Now combine the fact that getting the best gear basically took no time, with the many bases you could build, it equals infinite content. Making farms, raiding bases, making bases, farming guides.
You know what's crazy now that I think about it? Since then, like I only seen like one person try to recreate that. I haven't seen any other games lately. But yo, my boy is shouting out Tap. Yo, I'm telling you, Tap was really running that. And Tanker. Oh my gosh, I remember watching Tanker's Booabooga videos. Those were actually really good.
Starting wars, starting a business, you name it. But steel took about half an hour to get, so for players looking for a grind, this game offered little, which is why we entered the updates. Autorite, gold, coins, domestication, crystal items, new islands, and what brought it all together, magnetite. After a couple of updates for a time, the best loadout in the game was magnetite armor with a crystal stick. This was the pinnacle of Booga for a while. Magnetite was only obtainable by finding meteors that spawned randomly around the map, so naturally when a meteor dropped, it was swarmed in minutes. The developer would then add the Ant Queen, Boogabooga's first real boss fight. It would have magnetite meteors inside its den, and defeating it would put you in the Sun Island, Around this time, Booga was at its peak, but
Wait, okay, wait. How does this guy know this much about the game? Yo, bro got insane ball knowledge right now. Either he was researching, he spent like a week or something researching, or he has insane ball knowledge.
the weekly updates stopped, the game didn't exactly die, but it was not at the top anymore. However, the Booga community was still very much alive and patiently waiting for new updates.
Yeah.
And the developer would deliver by adding new structures like the big ol' hut, new armor and emerald armor, and something to keep players grinding. Mojo, a rebirth system which would cause you to lose all your items and XP in exchange for 1 mojo point. This mojo point could be used to get god items, which included items such as the god rock, god armor, god hut, and big perks.
Oh my god, bro, I remember the god stuff. Wait, this is bringing back so much random memories. What the heck?
Like Water Walker, which is self-explanatory. With this update came the first big hurdle. Because there was no level cap at the time, and in order to rebirth you had to be level 100, there was a complete data wipe. Every player lost every single item and level they already had, which caused some outrage and a decent chunk of players quit. In the long run, this turned out to be the right decision, simply because of how much replayability this new update introduced into the game. Sure, it wasn't beating Jailbreak anymore, but the people who played it were averaging crazy hours on the game. However, with Mojo, there had to be an efficient way to grind XP because leveling up naturally was hard to say the least. So the old map was brought back and an efficient XP route was born. You would break this big tree, drop down, go into the cave, break this god, take the portal straight to the other side of the map. You would then enter this cave, break this god, and take the TV back and go back.
Dog, what is all this? Okay, no, that's too much grinding right there. See, after a certain while, I ended up quitting Booabooga because at that time, Arsenal started getting popping like crazy. Wait. Does Booabooga even like, is it like, okay, well, the title of this video is that it disappeared. But is it even like, no, wait, it got 1,000 people playing. Oh, that's Reborn though. The fact that Reborn still has 1,000 people playing is kind of crazy though. Wait, when did Reborn come out? Reborn came out 2022. That's not even bad. That's actually pretty good.
To the tree again. At this point, to some, the game was at its peak gameplay-wise, but there wasn't exactly a designated area to PvP. People would just wander until they found people to fight. Until the developer released The Void, a dark dimension that unlocked spells for each player that entered. You could choose between a shield, a lightning strike, or a cloak. No one chose the cloak. Now you could recharge Voodoo, which is the energy for the spells, by getting Void Gear, which were made by Void Shards dropped by Void Ants. Despite the dimension being a cool place, it was a PvP zone. Everyone there was always fighting. If you didn't have God Armor, boom, dead. Not to players, but to Void Ants, because these things were insanely strong. Now at this point, the game was basically finished. Adding anything stronger than God Armor made no sense. And adding more ability armor like Void Armor would just be annoying. So naturally, the developer would decide to just maintain and add new map features, right? Well, not really. Before we talk about anything new, Booabooga had a major issue: hackers. They could TP to you, go invisible, have infinite reach, and worst of all...
See, around this time, all the stuff that he's saying right now, I was already gone off that game by then. I didn't even know there was a void. Bro, I was gone by then.
The bow hackers. They would just spam arrows and every arrow would hit you no matter what you did. You couldn't leave because the combat logging system made you lose all your items when you died. The anti-cheat was kinda good and stopped the majority of hackers, but they ultimately failed and the anti-hacker dev was fired. Yeah, there was a lot of drama. I wasn't a part of that. So half of the time, you would pray you didn't have a hacker in your server, and if you did, you would often only find out when you're dying or you're dead. This caused...
Yo, like, I know we're watching a video, but do y'all see him struggling? Yo, bro. Yo, wait, after this clip, look at how he's struggling, bro.
many players to start quitting.
Yo, this guy has been... Is he struggling to get up there?
Wait a second. This sounds familiar. Okay, but for real, the hacking problem wasn't nearly as bad compared to APOC, especially after many patches. However, hackers were still very much around. It didn't exactly kill the game, but it left Booga in a state where it only rounded up to 8 to 12,000 players, which was still pretty good, but it was on the decline day by day. Hackers aside, with all the success Booga was having, it earned itself a collab with none other than Aquaman. Roblox officially brought Booga to be in the Aquaman event. The developer released a new map for the collaboration, called the Lost Sea. It was supposedly a sample of the new second map. No, not that one. That was going to come to the game but was ultimately scrapped. The event was very buggy because there was barely any food. Many things were broken, including the sharks that you needed to kill for the event, and a bunch of other smaller issues. This was the first big test for the developer, which we will now call Soybean, and it didn't go very well. The way this update came out would ultimately foreshadow the future of the game. 2018 was a big success for Booga, with many creators making their debut or getting big on YouTube through Booabooga. like Bandites, Rainway, Tap Water, and most notably Tank War. Although I'm pretty sure he just deleted
Did he say Tank War?
his older videos. I couldn't find.
Oh, he did. What? No, wait, right there. That's Booabooga. If I'm not tripping, that's literally Booabooga.
Funnily enough, Bandites was actually an APOC YouTuber before Booga.
I remember that. I remember watching Bandai's videos long time ago when he was at like 33,000 subs. And I had like, I think around that time I had just started YouTube. I remember that.
So did he like get deja vu when the hackers were starting to run wild in Booga? Who knows?
This guy.
Now in 2019, with the game basically being completed, there would only be smaller updates. Things like new armor tiers in between Magnetite and God, like Pink Diamond for Valentine's, or cosmetic updates like the Cosmetic Game Pass, and hats and stuff. These small updates would continue and the game would see lower but consistent player counts. But they would abruptly stop when it was announced that Booabooga would no longer get any content updates, which scared the community to say the least. Was Soybean moving on to a new game? Was Booabooga being sold? What's going on? No, because a super ambitious new version of Booga was announced. Booabooga C2.0, a new version of the game that will bring a big new map, new UI, new features, items, dimensions, a battle pass, and bring back the awesome swimming mechanic from the lost.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Did anyone even speak about this? Like, did anyone play this? Did this hit? Because I haven't heard of it.
Which totally did not go wrong. The community was hyped beyond belief. Videos were being made for every new update the devs would announce. The game shot up in players again, and so the community waited. And waited. And waited.
No.
And waited.
No.
The waiting went on for half a year.
No.
The game went without any new content. People were wondering if C2.0 would ever come out. The player count started dropping. It got as low as 3,000 concurrent players. This period was full of bugs and new metas like switching and HUD trapping, which were very annoying to say the least. This was until November 27, 2019. Soybean had announced that C2.0 was far from finished, and seeing as the main game was slowly declining, instead of waiting, he set up a roadmap. The game would receive updates again under the new C versions. We would start at C1.0 and work our way up to the release of C2.0. Great! The game was slowly but surely being refined. In C1.1, which came hours after C1.0, a lot of things were fixed. C1.2 was a small and cosmetic update that added hats. C1.3 added pumpkins and more hats. This drip feeding would eventually stop because 12 days after version C1.31, we got a massive update, C1.4, featuring new buildings, balancing, new currency types, and overheal. This was a controversial addition, because up until this point, combat consisted of HUD trapping, wall blocking, and constant brawling. However, none of this was really effective because you could get an auto clicker, spam bloodfruit, and within seconds be back to 100 HP, causing fights to go on for so long, a single fight could exhaust bloodfruit supplies to the point people bought private servers just to grow bloodfruit. I know this because I was one of them. Overheal changed this. You wouldn't instantly get healed anymore. Instead, you would get this transparent green effect that would be replaced with actual health over time, making fights faster. Most of the community did not like this change. Along with many others, such as the new UI changes in C1.4, the game lost even more players and dropped to its lowest player count in a long time.
Okay, so okay, my thing is, but what happened to it now? Like, where is it now? Okay, wait, how did it disappear though? Like, I understand they slowed down on the updates, they started doing controversial takes, and they started stalling on the newer version of it, but how did it disappear?
1,000 players. Things were not looking good for Soybean. At times, it seemed like he disappeared with no new C updates. This was until January. This is where ambition gets the better of Soybean. Every other day, he would promise something new. Vast terrain, sky islands, megalodons, spells. He even teased big things like faction pets and NPC-run tribes. This was all amazing, but there has not been a single update since December, and so the wait continued. But with that wait, more screenshots and more promises. Hot air balloons, new armor models, a spawn map, and more. However, there was an end in sight. Sometime near the end of February, Soybean had announced that he wanted C2.0 to come out in March. The community was overjoyed. We're getting all this in 2 weeks? We're skipping C1.5 through 9? This dev team is amazing. But of course, the game wasn't finished in March, and on April 3rd, Soybean made an announcement. Hi everybody, it is April 1st. We have news on the update. We are currently in the bug testing phase to make sure gameplay goes smooth for everyone. it's very important to me that we release a functional product. We are going to be bug testing for as long as it takes, and patch each one until we patch them all. The rest of it is just assurance that they did not want to delay the game, it would come out when it was ready. So at this point the devs are heavily implying the update was basically complete. We haven't seen much footage of it, just a bunch of screenshots and clips of certain features, so no one but the bug testers had any idea how C 2.0 was going to be like. And because of this, Soybean was being overflown with pressure. Until April 12th, on Easter Sunday, Booga Update C 2.0 finally came out. The community was ecstatic. A new age of Booga had just begun, and the update flopped. Yeah, so all those promises.
Wait, whoa! It flopped? What do you mean? What do you mean? Bro, what do you mean? Y'all waited months, a year plus, for the new update for C 2.0, and it flopped?
Features, half of them weren't in the game. There were no tribe pets. The gods featured couldn't be broken, the map was way too big so most devices struggled to load anything, and if you did load anything, it would be at like 30 FPS. I didn't mention this earlier, but races were announced, but they weren't there on release. Or ever actually. The lighting was bad, the new UI for your inventory was transparent so sometimes items would blend in the background depending on where you were. In fact, nearly every menu was transparent for some reason. Basically, combine Booabooga with Minecraft, because that's what this update was. The We Want to Be Minecraft update, because they nerfed smelting so you could only smelt one thing at a time. And worst of all, they added durability to everything. Your armor, tools, and bags could break now. Why, Soybean? Why? Why did you think this was—
Dang! Yo, they did not cook. They did not cook. I'm not gonna hold you. Yo, bro did mad research. You know what? The thing about this guy, the way he was speaking, the way he's speaking about Booabooga and the updates, you could tell he was a huge and true fan of Booabooga. He was a devoted fan. And the updates that they did really ruined that for them. Like ruined it for him. Dang, dang.
It's a good idea. Now the armor and weapons, sure, people die all the time. But bags? Bags have durability, and apparently if they broke, everything in your inventory would come splurging out. Now this may or may not be true, we'll never know, but if it is, how did this get through testing? Now, besides these many changes, everyone was screaming to revert the update. Servers would be spammed with revert. We want the old Booga back. Little did we know that was the last of the C 2.0 update, because not even a day later, Booga released C 1.5. It was basically a revert and you could beta test C 2.0 from the menu. Once again, Soybean could not deliver in his second big test since the lost C.
Bro.
But you can't completely—
Dude, what? Okay, wait. Why did they make it like a big update? Like, why did it have to be a big update? Why not? It's like, if you're gonna tease something, just drop that as the new update, like a weekly update. You know what, actually? I think back then, weekly updates was not common to game developers like it is now. Like now, weekly updates is a normal thing. Like that's normal. So like, dang, if they were doing weekly updates, it probably would have kept the game flowing like higher and stuff like that. And even now, like the game would be hitting like way more than just 1,000 players.
Blame him. Despite the lower player count, there was still a community, but many in the community kept spamming him to release the update. So he had to make a decision: skip all the testing, cut out half the features and release an incomplete update, or keep the community waiting and risk the death of the game before your long promised update you worked so hard on could ever come out. He chose the first option, and after the failure of C 2.0, the game slowly started dying out. Yes, there were some new updates, but many were just waiting for C 2.0, and with nothing to look forward to now, the game essentially died, not even averaging 2,000 players anymore. After the failure of the C 2.0 update, there were only 2 more updates, both not really doing anything to revive the game, with the last ever update apparently being incomplete. And with that, the development for Booabooga had officially ended on October 1st, 2020. With this came the game Split. There was already a Booga Classic released back in March, which was renamed to Booga 2018, and in the coming months, 2 other versions would come out. So in total, we got Booabooga 2018, 2019, 2020, which is the main version with all your data, and Booga Hybrid, a version of Booga with elements from every other version, which included C 2.0. However, with that, no one knew which version was the original, only accelerating the game's demise. Today, because of
Dang.
the age rating feature, Booga 2020, which probably still has your player data if you ever played Booabooga, is now unplayable, and I doubt it will ever come back. Classic is still around, but it's completely dead. Eventually,
Dang.
clones started to come out, with TikToks being made on these Booabooga remakes. Booga clones have also adapted, having admin abuses and adding new features weekly to keep the game's spirit alive. Aside from that, any trace of the original game is now gone. Soybean ultimately gave in to the pressure, but he left an entire game behind with a loyal community. You can't take that away from him. So with that, Booabooga officially disappeared from Roblox.
Dang, bro. Oh my. Let's keep watching. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, this is a really good video.
Honestly, as someone who really loved the original game, it's sad to see it go out the way it did. However, if you want to check official previous versions out, you can go to Booga Hybrid, head to the extras, and play every single major update, which I think is nice. Nowadays, Booga remakes have taken the real Booga's mantle, and honestly, it's for the better. The remakes aren't half bad either, but the real Booga will always have a place in many people's hearts.
Dang.
So with that, thank you guys for watching, and for 7,000 subscribers. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for similar content in the future. Also,
Yo, this was a peak video. I am not going to lie. Even though it didn't have like crazy edits, no dramatic effects, it was very informative, which made this video very peak. I'm not gonna hold you.
see you guys soon.
Yo, you got my like. Yo, what other videos you be making, bro? This is fire. He barely posts. He posts once every 3 months. Are you serious? Bro just casually drops a banger then disappears. Who is he moving like? Yo, my G, yo. Yo, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and subscribe to him too, because bro be dropping bangers, but barely. Anyways, thank you guys so much, and I'm out, guys. Bye.